Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say is going to sting a little. When a woman ignores you, she isn't just forgetting to reply, she isn't simply busy, and it's not some innocent accident. No, that silence is deliberate. And the reason it cuts so deep is because deep down, you know it. You feel it in your gut. Her silence screams louder than any words could. And yet, you still wait. You wait for that message that never comes, for that call that won't ring, for that glance across the room that she already decided you don't deserve. And here's the hard truth. Her ignoring you is not random. It's strategy. Now, maybe you're already thinking, but why? Why would she do that if she once seemed interested? The answer is not about her being cruel, and it's not about you being worthless. It's about psychology, female psychology, survival psychology, attraction psychology. Women ignore men for one of two reasons. Either you've already given away all your power and she no longer feels the spark, or she's testing to see how you'll handle the discomfort of being dismissed. Both are brutal, both are silent, and both will break a man who doesn't understand what's really happening. You see, a man who panics at silence, who chases harder when ignored, who throws his self-respect into the fire just to get a crumb of attention, that man proves he is not the one she can respect, follow, or admire, because her ignoring you isn't about text messages. It's about your energy, your frame, your strength, the part of you that either makes her feel safe and drawn in, or weak and repelled. And here's what most men will never admit. When she ignores them, they turn into beggars. They beg through constant double texts. They beg through angry calls. They beg through sulking, waiting, hoping, obsessing. And every single ounce of that begging kills attraction instantly. A woman ignores to reveal the truth about you, and most men fail the test without even realizing they were being tested at all. So before you keep staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that won't come, you need to hear the hidden rules of female psychology. Because when a woman ignores you, she's not just rejecting your words, she's measuring your worth. Here's the truth most men are never told. When a woman ignores you, she's not just turning away from your message, she's turning toward the hidden calculation happening inside her mind. She's scanning for strength, for consistency, for leadership, and your response to her silence tells her everything she needs to know. That's why indifference can feel so cruel. It isn't random. It's her subconscious sorting who is strong and who is fragile, who can carry the weight of her emotions, and who will collapse under it. And you know what breaks most men? The silence exposes their addiction to validation. They don't realize how much of their energy depends on her approval until it's gone. That gnawing urge to check your phone every 5 minutes, that irritation building in your chest when she leaves you on read, that desperate need to know why, that is not attraction, that is dependence. And dependence is poison to masculine energy. Because the moment your happiness hinges on her attention, you've already handed her the crown and told her she's the ruler of your world. Think about this. Women are drawn to men who can stand alone, men who can handle distance, men who don't crumble when they're ignored. It's not about playing games, it's about showing, without saying a word, that your center of gravity isn't inside her, it's inside you. If she ignores you, and you don't react with desperation, if you keep moving, keep living, keep shining with or without her attention, she feels something she didn't expect, respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction. But most men, they think silence is a trap to escape from. They believe if they just say the right thing, just send the perfect follow-up text, just remind her of what she's missing, she'll magically reappear. Wrong. That's exactly how you confirm to her that you can't stand without her presence. And the harder you chase, the faster she runs. Understand this. Her silence is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It reflects who you really are when you're stripped of validation. Are you centered, strong, and unshaken? Or are you frantic, needy, and collapsing? Every time she ignores you, she's unconsciously asking, are you a man worth my respect? Or another boy begging for my time? The moment she ignores you, something dangerous happens inside your mind. Your brain starts filling in the silence with stories. She must be talking to another guy. She must be losing interest. She must think I'm not enough. And once those thoughts take root, your emotions spiral. Anxiety builds, jealousy creeps in, and suddenly you're not thinking like a grounded man. You're reacting like a boy fighting for scraps of approval. That's where most men lose themselves. Not because she ignored them, but because they ignored themselves. Here's the shift you need to understand. Her silence is not a threat. It's an invitation to return to your center, to breathe, to slow down, to remember that your value doesn't rise and fall with the flicker of her attention. This is where emotional mastery separates men from boys. Because when a man can meet silence with calm, he shows a woman something rare. He shows her he cannot be controlled by her moods, her absence, or her tests. He reveals a stability that women crave more than charm, more than looks, more than money. Why? Because life itself is chaotic. Women live with constant emotional waves inside of them, highs and lows, fears and desires. If you are shaken by the smallest ripple of her ignoring you, she instinctively knows you won't survive the storm of real intimacy, of real life, of real responsibility. She ignores you to see if you're strong enough to carry the weight of both your emotions and hers. And if you fail, if you panic, she withdraws, not out of cruelty, but out of clarity. So what must you do? You stop chasing ghosts. You stop rewriting the silence into some catastrophe. You stop begging for answers that won't come. Instead, you lean into yourself. You sharpen your purpose. You invest in your body, your mind, your craft. You fill the void with progress instead of panic. Because nothing disrupts a woman's expectation more than a man who doesn't crumble when she withholds attention. She expects you to fold. She expects you to doubt yourself. She expects you to crawl after her. But when you stand tall, when you remain unshaken, when you look her absence in the eye and say silently, I am still whole without you, you flip the script. And in that moment, you're no longer the one waiting to be chosen. You become the one she cannot ignore. Now let's talk about the moment you want to reach for your phone. That moment when silence feels unbearable, when your chest tightens, and you just want to do something to break the emptiness. This is where most men destroy themselves. Because what do? They send the follow-up text. They double call. They ask if she saw the message. They crack a joke to lighten the mood. And with every action, they hand over more and more of their power. She ignores. He chases. She withdraws. He pursues harder. And the dynamic is sealed. She's in control. He's the one begging for her presence. But listen closely. Ignoring her back is not the answer either. Playing games, trying to mirror her silence, pretending you don't care when inside you're dying, that's not strength, that's performance. And women can feel when a man is pretending. What works is alignment, your words, your actions, and your energy all reflecting the same truth. I am whole, with or without your attention. So how do you respond the right way? First, you respond with patience. If she ignores a message, don't react immediately. Give space, not as a trick, but as a reflection of your reality. You are busy, you are focused, you are building. You do not have the luxury to obsess over a single reply. That subtle delay shows her something powerful, that you don't live inside her pocket, waiting for crumbs. Second, when you do respond with clarity. No chasing, no guilt-tripping, no emotional explosions. Keep your energy calm, grounded, and direct. If she's ignoring to test you, she'll respect the steadiness. If she's ignoring because she's lost interest, you'll find out quickly without wasting your dignity. And if she's ignoring because she's overwhelmed or distracted, Your calm presence will feel like oxygen in her chaos. Third, and this is the part most men overlook, sometimes the best response is no response at all. If a woman repeatedly ignores you, shows zero effort, and treats your presence as disposable, the strongest move is to walk away completely. Not with bitterness, not with a dramatic goodbye, but with quiet certainty. Because the man who can walk away is the man she cannot control. And that is the man she secretly respects the most. So understand this. Your response to her silence is not about winning her back. It's about proving to yourself that you're not a slave to validation, that you choose dignity over desperation, that you are a man she cannot toy with because you know your worth without her attention. You need to understand something most men never will. When a woman ignores you, she's not only testing you, she's expressing something about herself. Women are wired with a survival instinct rooted in psychology that goes back thousands of years. In every culture, across every generation, women had to filter men. They couldn't afford to attach themselves to weakness because weakness meant danger, instability, and risk. Ignoring is one of those ancient filters. It's not just a modern game. It's an old instinct wearing a new mask. Here's how it works. When she ignores you, she's watching how you process uncertainty, because uncertainty is a part of every relationship. Jobs are lost, emotions shift, life throws storms at you. And if the smallest storm, a missed text, a delayed reply, a sudden silence, throws you into chaos, she knows you're not built for the real storms. She doesn't even have to say it. She just feels it. Her body, her intuition tells her, this man cannot hold the weight, and that's why she pulls back. Another layer is this. Women are drawn to men who command attention without begging for it. When she ignores you, she's unconsciously checking if your world collapses without her spotlight. If it does, she knows you don't have your own light, your own orbit, your own fire. But when you continue thriving, when you laugh with friends, build your body, grow your money, and keep chasing your mission regardless of her silence, something unexpected happens inside her. She starts to notice. She feels the quiet strength radiating from you, and she realizes you're not the kind of man she can dismiss so easily. And here's the brutal part. Sometimes a woman ignores you, not because she's testing, but because she's bored. Attraction has faded. And if you can't face that truth, you'll keep chasing someone who has already emotionally left. That's where men waste months, even years, trying to prove their worth to a woman who has already moved on in her mind. But if you understand female psychology, her silence becomes information, not rejection. You stop asking, why is she ignoring me? And start asking, what does her silence reveal about her interest, her character, and her respect for me? And in that shift, you move from desperation to clarity. You stop being the hunted, and you start becoming the hunter of truth. Most men see silence as emptiness. They see it as rejection, as proof they're not enough. But the men who rise above, those who understand the deeper game, see silence as leverage. Because silence is not just absence, it's space. And space, if you use it correctly, becomes your greatest weapon in attraction. Think about this. When she ignores you, she expects one of two reactions. Either you'll chase harder and give her proof that she controls you, or you'll sulk and collapse, showing her you're emotionally weak. But what she does not expect, and what shakes her to her core, is when you take that silence and use it to fuel your growth. When you take the energy you would have wasted obsessing over her, and instead, you pour it into yourself. Imagine this. She doesn't reply for days, maybe weeks. Instead of sitting in despair, you're in the gym sculpting your body. Instead of rereading old texts, you're building your finances, sharpening your skills, stacking wins in your life. Instead of wondering why she's quiet, you're creating a life so loud with progress that her silence no longer matters. That's leverage, because the man who uses silence as fuel becomes unignorable. And here's the twist. When she sees you thriving without her, When she realizes her absence didn't cripple you, she feels something she didn't plan on. Curiosity, then tension, then respect. She begins to question her own silence. Why hasn't he chased? Why hasn't he crumbled? Why does he look stronger than before? And suddenly, the power dynamic flips. She's the one noticing you. She's the one feeling unease. She's the one realizing that ignoring you didn't lower your value. It revealed it. But here's the key. You can't fake this. You can't just pretend to be busy while secretly checking your phone every 5 minutes. Women feel energy. If you're acting like you've moved on, but inside you're desperate, it leaks out. True leverage only comes from truth, from genuinely choosing to invest in yourself so deeply that her silence feels irrelevant. And when you master this shift, you win either way. If she comes back, she meets a stronger, sharper, more focused man. If she doesn't, you've already leveled up without her. That's the power of turning silence into leverage. You stop losing. You either gain her respect or you gain a better version of yourself. Now hear this. The reason silence destroys so many men is because deep down, they've built their worth on borrowed ground. They live for approval. They live for validation. They live for someone else's attention to confirm they matter. But the man who cannot stand without approval cannot stand at all. And that's why women ignore. Not always out of malice, but because your reaction to silence exposes your foundation. If it's weak, it crumbles. If it's strong, it holds. The hardest truth is this: you are not owed her attention. You are not entitled to her replies. And the second you believe you are, you've already lost. A woman's interest is earned, not demanded. Her respect is cultivated, not begged for. And if she withholds attention, you either reveal yourself as fragile or you rise as unshakable. Men who thrive in dating, relationships, and life are not the ones who chase attention. They are the ones who command respect. Not through force, not through games, but through the undeniable power of being whole, grounded, and driven. They know silence is not a punishment. It's feedback. It's information. And they use that feedback to sharpen themselves, to adjust, to walk away when needed, and to stand tall regardless of outcome. Because here's the real win. It's not about getting her back. It's not about forcing her to notice you. It's about becoming a man who can never be ignored, because your presence, your energy, your mission radiates louder than any text or call ever could. The kind of man whose life is so full, so magnetic, that silence from one woman doesn't even scratch the surface of his worth. That's the man women respect. That's the man they chase. That's the man you're capable of becoming. So the next time a woman ignores you, don't break, don't beg, don't spiral into weakness. Breathe, step back. Look at the mirror her silence placed in front of you, and then decide, will you collapse or will you rise? Now I want to ask you something personal. Think back to the last time a woman ignored you. Did you handle it with strength, or did you fall into chasing and desperation? Be honest with yourself and share your answer in the comments. And if this video spoke to you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth today.